What's up, guys?
We're going live.
Yeah. Oh, not much, Alex. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I got to my destination and I beat Waze by about 15 minutes.
There you go. There you go.
You're not supposed to say that on a recorded live stream.
Yeah.
Nobody knows which way.
Yeah, that's right.
Following all the traffic laws and obeying all stop signs. Yes.
Well, no, I mean, I think you meant to say you're using Waze for walking, right? So you ran.
Exactly.
Yeah. 15 minutes. Yeah.
I'm that fast.
So, how's everybody today? How's everybody? Brad Plume joining the party.
Yeah.
I can't hear anything you guys.
All right, that's all right.
Yeah. Brad needs another 45 seconds before anything. He can
All right.
anything that's going on. Yeah, no, it's been good. Busy week. Lots of challenges. Lots of wins. Lots of learning opportunities. So yeah, like I'm actually dealing with some random thing that hasn't happened to me before, but I know it's happened to lots of investors. And I mean, I'd be interested in hearing if anybody's watching and what their thoughts or comments or questions are as too. Is I actually have a seller that's looking to back out of a deal that we've already closed on conditions. We're a week away from closing, and he just when I called to get the updated information from him to see what his lawyer is for our lawyer, and he said that gave me an excuse, a random story that didn't really make any sense, and told me that he wants to back out of the deal. Like, have any of you guys dealt with something like that, or what's
I have a similar dilemma actually I'm dealing with currently right now as well. But hey, man, I'm gonna do the regular weekly routine and just give a quick intro to the show. Anybody's tuning in for the first time, it's called We're Going Live. For real estate investors, budding real estate investors, business owners looking to grow and expand. We all are getting mentored by some of the greatest. We're part of the same mastermind, and we're looking to become better at what we do. So a few weeks ago, I don't know, this is probably like week 10, man. This might be a special episode here. But a few weeks ago, we decided to. We're always talking about joint venturing on partnerships and real estate and investing, and we realized that we're all struggling with the same battle of getting out of our comfort zone and just going live and letting people know what we do. So we decided to partner up, and here we are partnering up on the Going Live once a week, every week on Friday at 3 p.m. Thanks for everyone who's listening to us, whether they're live or watching a recording. And I'll just give a quick intro to who I am. I'm Cali Braithwaite. I'm in the GTA. I'm invested in Southern Ontario. I mean, from Windsor to Kitchener to Peterborough to Toronto, Oshawa, and then I took a bit of a couple steps in a leap in Moncton, and I'm having a lot of fun right now, investing wise, not physically but virtually, thanks to some of the great people in this room, like Mr. Sean Gunter there. But if you want to reach out to me, you can give me a call at 289-207-5316 or contact me at Grow with Cali on Instagram if you ever want to talk about some of the deals I'm working on. Who's next?
I'll go. So Alex Mustatea, based out of beautiful Hamilton, Ontario. I focus on flips and conversion projects. I guess, all over the place, primarily in Hamilton, but also in Toronto. Most recent one in Chatham. I was there yesterday, and things are moving pretty good there already. Always, as Cali said, as this has been now it's coming up on 10 weeks. I'm happy to be able to attend these and kind of hold each other accountable through these discussions. So always looking to connect. You can reach me by phone 289-769-8975 or Instagram alexandru.mustatea.
Yeah. And I noticed Brad's at his home office for once today. Just throwing that one out there. Got some, actually to make it from home today. That's awesome.
Never happened before.
Yeah, really though. So I'm Shawn Gunther. I actually live here in Moncton, New Brunswick, and I do lots of wholesale deals as well. Always looking to grow, looking to bring people onto the team, and build that out into the entire East Coast of Canada. Here's what the goal is. But if anybody's looking to buy, sell, or lend on any properties here in New Brunswick, I'd love to talk to you. Please give me a shout at 506-800-4289 or on Instagram at The Moncton Wholesaler. And yeah, so how about you do your introduction now, Brad?
Yeah, Brad Plume. We're really focused on the area of Grey and Bruce County right now. We just finished up with a couple flips up there. So we're kind of in search of the next one, I guess you would say. And you can reach me at 519-379-7911 or on Instagram at brad.plume.
Awesome. So, thoughts, about deals or sellers backing out of deals. What's any stories, any thoughts? Like, how did you deal with it? How did that go?
So this is good timing. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, but I have something like this going on right now. Myself and one of my business partners, we locked up a deal, and the closing date for the sellers, we gave them a lot of time because they knew that there was going to be some complications potentially. So we closed it. We locked it up in January with an August closing date because we expected this potential delay, and they realized that they were having some challenges finding a new property, and they needed some help. So what we did is, instead of so I don't know if it was that they got cold feet or they realized that the market went up so much since the time they signed the offer, and maybe they had some seller's remorse. But right now we're actively looking with them to help them find a place, right? So I teamed up with a local realtor in the area, help them find like the next place where they can go, because they were doing it on their own and not getting anywhere. I spoke to the assignees who I assigned it to and kept them informed of like what was going on and what they wanted to do. If these guys wanted to back out, how do we deal with this? And really good news, yesterday they had a accepted offer. So they made an offer on a place and they got it. So that's pretty exciting for all of us. We can keep the deal together. It's still conditional, but I think there was a lot of extra time that was put into it. And in this whole assigning and wholesaling side of things in the real estate game, I mean, we get paid pretty well for what we do, right? And I like to think of most of the deals as, grand slams, slam dunks, whatever analogy you want to use. But sometimes it's okay if you got to put that extra work in, because we are providing a service, right? So, the assignees who were buying the deal off me were very happy and grateful for me doing the extra work and going the extra mile. But for me, it's like, this is part of my job, right? This is my duty, is to provide that service. So I think it's something that we owe somewhat, to do the extra steps and make sure that everyone's taken care of. What do you guys think?
I think that's great, Cali. And I agree with you 100%. And, I wish my situation were that simple and it was the seller trying to kind of, it was a situation where I could help and kind of get involved or, see what we could do to, provide a better service to them. Unfortunately with this particular seller, I think it's maybe a seller's remorse situation, and he's not being upfront with me about what the reason is too, because the reason that he's giving me is, it's very flimsy, right? Like it doesn't really make sense as to why he would want to get out of the deal because of it. And really, I was trying to kind of pivot and try to work with him, and he basically within the conversation told me, he's like, yeah, well, whatever, you go get a lawyer, do whatever you got to do. So, that part of me wants to just say, okay, hey, this is maybe not something to deal with. But at the same time, it's very, difficult for me to want to let go because we have a legal contract. You agreed to this regardless of whether you need the money or, you know, there's a different situation that came up in your life that, you know, and whatever. It's not his personal residence. He is an investor. He owns multiple properties. He was saying his reasoning was because one of his family members has an issue and he needs them to move into the place, but he also owns 13 other properties. So for that to be an excuse is kind of flimsy, right? So there's a part of me that wants to kind of you know, bring him to you know, to his word and say, hey, like, you know, we had a legal agreement. You know what I mean? I'm following through on my end. All I'm asking is that you follow through on your end. And I think it's maybe a bit of buyer's remorse because, like you said, the market has gone up quite a bit. And, you know, maybe he's thinking that he can get out of this deal and try to get some more from somebody else.
Have you reached out to your lawyer? Like, what options do you have? What is practical?
Well, what my lawyer is telling me that we can do is that we can tender the deal. So basically we go through and we deal with it anyways, as if we're going to go close, even though he hasn't even dealt with his lawyer, have like any information with his lawyer. So he's holding up the entire closing process just on his own. But what my lawyer is saying is that we just go in through and we tender the deal. And then on closing date, we show, here's the check we have to purchase this property. If you're not closing, then we go and we would take legal action from there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's one of those things. Everything is situational, and you always look at it from both ends of the table, right? And yeah, if you had the legitimate situation where there was, like, you know, like what you had to deal with, Cali, where you have somebody who's just like, hey, we're trying and it's just, we can't make it work right now. What can we do? Then, hey, let's work together and actually create a solution out of it. But, you know, if you have somebody who's just like trying to walk away from a contract just for the sake of it, or because of, you know, even if the only reason is because, hey, I'm going to get more money somewhere else, then, you know, then that's a legal issue, and that person should be held liable for the contract in which you guys had agreed upon, right? Like, it's not like you're trying to be a jerk or a mean person or anything. It's just, hey, that's life, and that's the way business works. And if you want to try and screw somebody on business, then ultimately it's all going to come back on you, because the law is there for a reason, and the law will stand, right? So
yeah. Well, and I mean, Alan makes a good point as well in the comments here. He says, what if the buyer tried to back out of the deal? And I'm sure you'd be held liable, and the same should apply to the seller. And I mean, I agree. Yeah. And also, if it were a situation where it was, you know, they were just having a hard time, or there was something that we could do to kind of accommodate and work it out to where we still do the deal, whether it be pushed back or whatever, that wouldn't be an issue, right? Like, I'd be happy to do that and help somebody. But, you know, where they're just kind of trying to get out of it scot-free for no real, you know, reason, yeah. Right? It's kind of, yeah.
So I think you can easily end up in a position where you have to show and prove what the damages were to the buyer, and that would be the amount that you could sue for, which is like, you know, if you want to get justice, you can go down that path, but it could be very time consuming. That's the downside of this whole thing, that you may have to walk away just because of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I mean, I've looked at it from different scenarios too, and I mean, and that's I guess where the struggle is, right? It's like, okay, so what is it really worth it to kind of go through from a standpoint of time and money and yada yada yada? Probably not, but from the standpoint of principle, and to have basically, you know what I mean, people walk around thinking that they can sign a contract and then just walk away all willy-nilly. It's kind of a principle thing to me. And
is the property vacant?
No. Well, and I mean, that's part of the and also Alan's saying easy to prove damages if you already have a signed assignment. You know what I mean? And also I
guess the lump sum, your wholesale fee, right? You would claim that as the damages.
Yeah, that's minimum damages, right? And I mean, there's also damages on the side of the assignee, because I mean, technically, they may have borrowed that money and already have it ready to go at a high interest rate.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Depending on what their plan was. So
if they bought materials to do the renovation, like, they might have hired a contractor, they might have, what I mean, legal fees of, whatever, right? There's a lot of damages that could come from something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of what route do you want to go? Like, obviously, that's not a path that I want to go down, or should I feel like it's necessary. Like, I think that you should walk into a deal knowing that you made a deal, and if you regret it afterwards, just make sure the next time you don't. Like, you make a mistake, you move on with life, but you don't, and like that was kind of the conversation I had with him also. I was like, hey man, like, how about we try to pivot this? Like, do you want to sell another one of your properties instead? And then, he just was being unreasonable at this point, right? So, but I mean, it is what it is. You live, you learn, kind of figure out what you got to do. I mean, I'll kind of keep you updated on how it works out. I mean, it was something that just happened over yesterday and today, so it's still fresh in my mind.
When would have been the closing?
The 1st.
Oh, okay. So we get to find out how it went next time around.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'll know more by next Friday for sure. I mean, closing is supposed to be on or before the 1st, so it would probably be a week from today. But now that he's kind of held everything up and doesn't have any lawyer information, we almost need to get an amendment too. So, yeah. And if he's being that way with it, like, it's like, how do you, I don't know.
It'd be really interesting to see what the outcome is with this. It's almost worth going through, as long as it doesn't cost you any extra money.
Well, and legal fees. On principle alone, I'd almost put my whole wholesale fee into it, just because. The last thing I want is anybody signing a contract with me and thinking that I'm just going to walk away if the wind strikes.
Well, right? The thing is like, legitimately, is this person trying to walk away in good faith because they legitimately have a reason that they need to walk away, or are they just walking away because they're annoyed about the fact that they left money on the table, right? And if it's in good faith that something legitimately has come up, then yeah, like, you work with those people and you go, hey, you know what? Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, and sometimes we just learn on an experience, right? Then that's a mutual release situation, right? But like, if you're just like, walking away because of money, then okay, fine, then I need to pursue because of money. Then I know it sounds ridiculous in some senses, but that's the reality of business. Like, you would never do a job where you do contracting work for somebody, and then you get the job done, and then they go, well, you know what? I didn't want the last half done anyway, so I'm just not going to pay you. But no, that's not okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, you could compare it to so many things, and like back and forth. And I'm going to kind of, obviously it's Friday evening. Nothing is going to be done about it over the weekend, right? Like, I'm going to kind of sit on it over the weekend and kind of think about what the best way to go about it is, and kind of go from there. I'm also in contact and communication with my lawyer, and I spoke to him today, and he says that he does have a lawyer that's involved now and is looking over our purchase and sale agreement. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and then I'll kind of give it the weekend to kind of decide what I'm going to do, and see if his tune changes by Monday sometime too, right? Because you never know. His lawyer could probably tell him, like, hey, like, this is a contract, and if they're willing to take action, then you need to kind of go through with it, right?
Awesome. Yeah. I have a question. Who's got some wins?
I was ready to talk, so I'll shut up then, because I was ready to talk about a problem that I've come across this week.
Oh, shoot, man. Okay, well, listen, go ahead.
It's something that's going to impact me for sure. I don't know what the solution is, but it's probably a far smaller problem than what Shawn just mentioned, in the sense that I'm actually at this project right now. I dropped by. I had the contractor here ready to upgrade the water line to 1 inch. I pulled the permit for that particular portion of it. So the city agreed that they're going to upgrade me to 1 inch. This is the one that I want to do a garden suite for, so I need a higher flow rate.
Yeah.
So they started digging, and they called in that process. They called the city inspector to try to organize it a little bit later in the day for them to just come and inspect the installation, and then they were going to backfill the trench. But as they dug, and the inspector confirmed that the city had not too long ago upgraded the entire street to 3/4 inch, and because of that, they no longer want to do the 1 inch, because I need to go from 3/4 to 1 inch. Most installations are from half to 3/4. They don't want to do the city side. I have to do that. That's the road cut. So that begins with probably a $20,000 starting point, in my opinion. And yeah, the city doesn't want to do it, so they basically backfilled this little trench and left me hanging. So now I got to duke it out with the city to see if I can get them to upgrade me. I mean, they should still upgrade me, but it's just because the bylaw hasn't passed on the third garden suite. I was just trying to be proactive and get this done all at the same time.
Right.
So I don't know how I'm going to handle this now.
So are you saying that you're more proactive than them?
Well, in the sense that I'm playing, yeah, really, would that be a surprise? And of course, there's nobody there by phone. Everybody's remote. Like, you're trying to get a hold of. Anyway, but I guess what I'm trying to do now is do it so that I dig this out, and then I can finish the duplex and then do the garden suite even in September, whatever it is. But I just want to know that I'm done with digging in front of the house. So I don't know. It may just have to happen much later. Little things like this that you plan for, and then it's a big slap in the face.
So who's got wins?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. Shawn, you put your hand up first, man. You go. Let's hear about it.
Well, actually, I don't know if it's a win or it's just the way business goes. I was meeting with my accountant today. We officially have the corporation all up and running, and we're going to start just taking salaries, my wife and I, to kind of, and keep money in the business to continue to do deals. So, I mean, that's a win as far as I'm concerned. We're officially a real business now. So
that's a big milestone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think it's great. So was how challenging was that? How difficult was it to make that to get things incorporated?
Well, it's not really difficult. I mean, we spoke to our lawyer, and then he referred us to an accountant, where the accountant sent him back the instructions for the corporation based on what we discussed with the accountant as the business structure. Then the lawyer did the corporation and all of that. Today we just met with the lawyer or the accountant today, after the corporation has already been set up, to determine she's going to do her taxes and also set up the payroll and all that stuff. So, we still have a few things to kind of get going to set up the actual bank and possibly credit, and see kind of how all that works out too. And yeah, it's going to be interesting too, because since Carly and I are both going to be employees and taking a salary from it too, so that kind of helps for a lot of small business owners out there who have small businesses and just take straight from the business their pay. You can't really use that towards credit for yourself in the future, right? So we're going to get started with that right away. So we technically have income rather than just the business dividends per year, right?
That's an actually really interesting point. I don't know if you've touched on this. I was actually trying to get a little more in depth on this myself. Will you be looking forward? Let's assume that you want to have some buy and holds, for example, or if you want to buy some properties with the conventional mortgage. Will you be considering borrowing and securing that loan personally, even though it may go under the corp? Or will you be looking at having the corp build up sufficient equity or sufficient capital so that the corp itself can borrow? And that's something that I was toying with myself, in that I want to basically build up at least 2 years worth of notice of assessments from CRA on the corp side to allow me to build credit on the corp side, not personally, and therefore no longer personally guarantee it.
Well, both is what we're trying to do, right? So the thing is too, like because everything's got to be so separate now, because everything's the corporation is a completely separate entity from you, right? So I mean, not that I really need personal credit cards or anything like that. Everything that I pretty much purchase or do whatever has to do with the business anyway, right? So, but all that can be written off through the business regardless. But that being said, we are also trying to build credit through the business, and we will be doing that too. So that's why we kind of set it up so we're paying ourselves as payroll. So everything that's left in the business at the end of the year, that's kind of goes against your notices assessment and yada yada, like operating costs and all that stuff too through the business. Right?
Capital remains in the corp, other than whatever you pay yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, a lot of people are almost shooting themselves in the foot by having a corporation but not leaving any money into it, right? Because then your business never really gains any credit.
I always hear or see someone mention this on these like live podcasts and stuff like that. Full disclaimer, we are not accountants or this is our opinion only, consultant professional. So yeah, it's just putting it out there. Anybody who's going to hold anything that we say against us. Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you're taking legal or accounting advice from me, you should not be watching this. I am not a professional, nor do I claim to be. But yeah, so that was the breakdown of it. I mean, that's our thought process as far as this goes, and hopefully we're hoping that it'll work out, and I'm sure it will.
Oh, that's cool. I think one of the cool things that you touched on though is that you had your accountant give direction to your lawyer, where that's great, because if they're working together when you're setting up the corp, it's so much more beneficial for the long term. Like where my first corp, I did with my accountant because it was cheaper. And once the lawyer saw it, he's like, oh, accountants always mess it up, right? So then the next one I did through my lawyer, and then the accountant's like, oh, what is this?
The accountant's
right? So
like, oh,
you both work together. I think that's pretty smart. So anyone listening who's like thinking of incorporating, that's my advice: is get them to work together if you can.
Yeah,
it's like the drywaller and the framer pissing at each other.
Right. Well, and like when I was setting up the corporation, I mean, I didn't have an accountant before, so I just asked my lawyer like how we go about do this, and he actually suggested the accountant that we're using. So I already know that they have a working relationship. I felt like that was important as well. So they actually already know each other and work together for other things. So it should be an easier thing. And we also decided that we're going to set up our business account through our lawyer's bank, so then our lawyer can just send all our checks straight to our account, and I don't have to go in all the time.
Nice, smart, yeah, man.
So you made an admin of your lawyer. I love it.
Well, I've already paid him, so why not? Right?
Nice.
Yeah. It's definitely way easier when you bank with the same bank as what your lawyer does, especially when you have like large funds transferring through regularly.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just kind of cuts that step out too, because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a mask person. I don't enjoy doing that, so I always get in trouble from them. I was like, well, when you come in, you got to wear a mask. I'm like, yeah, maybe. But that kind of just gets him out of trouble. With his bosses, right? So I just told him, I was like, so if I set this up so you guys can just drop this in my account, will you? He's like, oh yeah, for sure. So it worked out good. But yeah.
Another little tidbit here, anybody who's looking at investing in like out of province, one thing that I learned after investing out of province was I had to get a extra provincial application because my corporation was specific to Ontario. So when I started investing in New Brunswick, because I didn't have like a federal corporation, so I had to, it took maybe 3 to 5 days for the lawyer in New Brunswick to set it up for me. Probably cost around $1,500, but it was very easy. I had to do it. So if you are setting up a corporation and you're planning on investing outside of or running your business outside of Ontario, have that conversation ahead of time with your lawyer or your accountant and see whether or not you should set up a federal corporation as opposed to just a provincial one. That's my little piece of advice.
I remember that came up too, yeah. And I can't remember. I think my lawyer had mentioned that there's additional costs right off the bat. So unless you're sure that you're going to do investments out of province, it's not worth doing. I think at the time I didn't. So that's a good point. And I guess, and in addition to that, you need a New Brunswick lawyer. Is that correct, Shawn, Cali?
Yeah, so I needed a New Brunswick lawyer to do business out there, but I needed an Ontario lawyer for my independent legal advice for me to set up a corporation or for my corporation to do business in New Brunswick. But
moving forward in future deals, you're not paying two lawyers.
So interestingly enough, very recently, my bank had requested. So I have a New Brunswick lawyer who does the deal for me, like who does my purchase. But because I have a mortgage, the bank wants me to personally guarantee, because my corporation doesn't have enough, like we were talking about, credit established to do things on its own. So I have to personally guarantee this. So the bank has requested as a condition that I get independent legal advice from another lawyer, which it's like, I know I'm a corporation, but I'm still Cali. You know what I mean? I'm the same guy signing for the corp as I am getting the independent legal advice, right? So I have to pay to get independent legal advice, ILA from another lawyer to say that I understand that I'm personally guaranteeing this on behalf of the corporation as collateral, right?
So, and that lawyer needs to be Ontario based.
No, that lawyer, I tried to get my Ontario lawyer to do it without thinking about it. And he's like, you know what? How can I sign for a mortgage in New Brunswick when I don't know the rules in New Brunswick?
Oh, God.
So then I found I found a local New Brunswick lawyer who was willing to do it. And I'm very thankful for that because it could have delayed the closing because I didn't know that this was coming, right? So
wow.
It sounds like that's specific to your lender, to your bank. That they would need an additional, because I don't have, like, I use the same lawyer that closes under the corp represents that, like, I guess mortgages is the only time a lawyer can represent both the borrower and the lender, and he'll close the whole deal under the corp. But that's, again, the property's in Ontario too.
I've had it in Ontario and I've never had to do that. So I don't know why. It's the same bank, right? I'm not sure. Maybe it's the underwriter. I have no idea, but it's something that I'm now prepared for. And yeah, it costs a little extra, but you know what? The deal has to make sense in the first place, right?
Jeez, Kelly, you're gonna have like a team of lawyers walking behind you.
In New Brunswick.
Like thinking of like Law and Order when they're all walking in. It's just Kelly with like 16 lawyers behind them. All these deals. But yeah, no, that's cool too. Like it's interesting to hear that too, because I mean, like, I don't know how many people are doing business outside of their province or their country. Even I wonder. I imagine there's quite a bit of other obstacles dealing with like United States deals too, right? Like, has anybody done deals in the States? No. Because
not yet.
No, but I something tells me that folks that have recently traveled there and have returned to Canada may have some plans.
Yeah, maybe. Well, that's Keith and Allison. I imagine Keith's actually asked to be on the show, so maybe we'll get him on one time once they've done a deal in the States and see what he's done. He's very analytical and has a lot of information.
Yep.
Too.
Let's see if we can get Keith on next week.
Yeah,
that might be good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're actually past our time already. We're 31 minutes. That went by real quick, eh?
It did, man. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys want to just start doing the send-offs here, I'll get them lined up. Who's first?
All right, I'll jump in real quick. You guys can do your thing. Hey, thanks again, everyone, for listening and tuning in and letting us kind of keep you updated as to what's going on in our journey in our world. I hope you have a great weekend. The sun is shining. Stay healthy. Protect yourself. I'm Cali Braithwaite. I'm in the GTA. If you ever want to discuss some of the deals that I'm working on, please reach out to me. I do have quite a few deals and I need help. So I'm really looking at raising capital to put into these deals and make you some money. Hit me up on Instagram at Grow with Cali. Find me at Facebook, Cali Braithwaite, or call me at 289-207-5316. Thanks again for tuning in.
Go on.
I'll go. Alex Mustatea, again, based out of Hamilton, Ontario, with projects, I guess, all over Southern Ontario. Looking to connect. I'm in various stages of projects and a little bit short-handed on certain trades, so I'm actually actively looking for various trades as well. So anybody out there looking to be involved, I'd love to hear what we can do. You can connect with me by phone, 289-769-8975, or on Instagram, alexandru.mustatea. Brad.
Yes. Yeah. Brad Plume. Yeah, like I said before, we're focusing in the Grey and Bruce County area, and things are getting pretty hot up there. There's a lot of people exiting the GTA, and that's where they're going to right now. So lots of stuff booming up there. So if you want to connect, hit me up, 519-379-7911, or at brad.plume on Instagram.
And again, I'm Sean Gunther, and I am from Moncton, New Brunswick, and we are wholesaling mostly and looking for buyers, sellers, and lenders here. So, and looking to expand also. So if anybody is looking to invest here or wants to learn how to invest in real estate here in New Brunswick, definitely reach out to me at 506-800-4289 or on Instagram at the Moncton Wholesaler. And that's concludes another week here. And Vince is telling us to have a good weekend. So we're going to say,
you too, Vince.
Thanks, Vince. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. We love the comments. Keep them coming. So you guys all have a great week. And we'll see you again next Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Keep smashing those deals, Vince. Keep smashing those deals.
Yeah.
We'll go live.